Welcome to Dementia Unpacked. I am Mzoxolo Gcwabe, your host, where we turn whispers about dementia into conversations. I am not a medical expert. I am a daughter who's walked this journey with my father, and now I'm having these conversations in hope to help others feel more seen and less alone. I am joined by the head honcho himself, my brother, my confidant, and the person that I went through this journey with last year. I'd like to welcome Mzoxolo Gcwabe to our first episode. Yes.
Hey, yeah,
Hey,
thank you. Congratulations on the show.
thank you so much.
Hopefully, we get through this with little tears.
I hope so too. I hope so
Yeah,
too.
and yeah, man. Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Would you like me to start?
I can tell the story. I mean, our father apparently was a very brilliant man.
Start a
Even
parent.
more, yeah, more brilliant than we knew him. I mean, I think in '86, before I was born, our father was on a trip, on a school trip, and he was in front of in this taxi that they used for the school trip, and they had an accident. He wasn't wearing safety belts. He flew out head first through the screen, and then had a head injury, basically cracking his skull. I had to have brain surgery and all of that stuff. But that started giving him epileptic attacks, and then from the epilepsy and over years, it deteriorated into uh, dementia, and also especially after he suffered a stroke. So he had vascular dementia. So apparently, strokes cause vascular dementia. I don't
It's
know.
like there's silent strokes
Mm, mm,
in
mm.
between.
Yeah, we saw the cognitive decline, and yeah, to his eventual passing away.
Yeah, it's going to be a year in November.
Mm. Heavy,
Well, it's going to
heavy.
be a year in November of his burial,
Mm.
but then he passed away on the 23rd of October. So I'm actually doing this in, we can say, in remembrance, or trying to.
Almost like memorialize your father
Yes,
and
but
kind
then,
of,
yeah, but then
you know.
because Renee talked about, you need to have a grief journal. And I was like, I think this is my grief journal in a way,
Mm,
because I didn't
mm,
grieve last year. I didn't
mm,
cry at the funeral. I
mm,
didn't. It felt like there was no emotions that were displayed at all.
mm,
And not saying that I
mm,
never had
mm.
those emotions. It's just that there was just not there at that moment. It kind of felt like I didn't have any time to feel emotional or be emotional because there was so much happening.
Maybe it's a way you were coping with it, because sometimes people want to be um, outside of the situation. Almost like, for me to carry on, I need to almost be outside of my own body,
Yes.
and not be feeling. Otherwise, I won't be able to get through this. So
Yeah.
maybe it was a coping mechanism.
Yeah, it was. I was saying to Bulawe earlier, I was like, I actually don't know how I got through last year. I don't know what was fueling me. And it could only have been God.
Mm,
It
mm,
could
mm.
only have been God. And having said that, what do you remember the most about Utata and his journey with dementia? And what was the one moment that you realized, okay, this is actually, our lives are changing and things are changing?
Okay. So there's two moments for me, right? Let me start with the one that um, impacted me the most. When we can see now, this is like things are about, yeah, things have changed now. Like, and it's very apparent. So we went to go visit Utata, and when he was still in Cape Town, staying with our aunt. Went to go visit him, and I come in there, and I'm with our mom, and for the first time he didn't recognize me. That's really hurt. Because I was very close to my father. Uh, like, he really shaped the person that I grew up to become. So I that's when I realized that 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 we probably have lost that man.
Yeah.
We were close. It's like I felt like I lost him there.
Yeah.
From him not recognizing me, it really hurt. I remember being so emotional, like I was crying. And then the other moment, which I think really set off this whole thing, was when I heard a story that he's sick in Tabankul, and I'd made the journey there to go and check him, to go and see him and check in on him. And while I'm talking to him, he basically had a stroke, and
Wow.
I could see it, like see the whole. It's like you're like the side of his
I didn't know
face.
about that. I know I knew about the visit. I just didn't know that that's what actually happened
Yeah,
then. Yeah.
yeah, side of his face, and he had a stroke, and I'm like, this is a stroke. Had to find a way to get him to the hospital, rush him to a hospital up in the next town. So
Mm.
yeah,
So those were the two pivotal moments that.
yeah. I think those are two moments that basically change things a lot. So the first one, I think, sets off the dementia in my head.
Yeah.
I am not a doctor, but and then the second one is just after years of having it, it started now. Um, like he, of course, he had lost memory of other things, but now he had started even forgetting family members.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit on your mom. Like that's my.
Like
He's like
that's
that's
your
my
wife.
type. He's like that's my
That's my type.
type. I'm like I'm like dog.
That's your
You married this person.
wife.
You married this person. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And it was so weird to watch. I was like, is he really making?
yeah. I'm like
Like it's embarrassing.
yeah, and he's just ignoring us and like yo.
You know, we were not even in
It's
the
like
room at that
he's
time.
like yo. But yeah.
That's funny. I think for me, the moment was when every time he would call or we would call him, he would always forget. You know, whether we would call him, you know, thrice in a week or whatever, he would
Mm,
still forget that we actually called him. And that's when I was like, there's something wrong here. But no one is actually coming up with the actual diagnosis that this is what this person has, you know. And we I guess because he was epileptic, that's what our reference was, that no,
mm,
it might be epilepsy, it might be epilepsy.
mm.
And if there was any other earlier diagnosis, we probably would have done something sooner, you know, where the decline was not as drastic as it was eventually in the end.
I don't know if there was anything that could have been done. Maybe.
You think so?
Okay. Yeah. Like I think what could have been done, what I think my dad should have done is really take care of his mental health
Yeah.
and take his medicine when it came to epilepsy and stuff like that. And also things like high blood. I don't think he knew
Mm.
that he had high blood pressure because he was a very active person. He used to run a lot. He used to work out, wake up every Saturday and work out, and then
So that's where I get it
he's
from.
yeah, and then you work out.
Of course I do. What do you mean?
Yeah, like yeah. I mean, he body wise, he took care of
Yeah, he was
the
very healthy. He was
physical.
actually very healthy.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
physical side of of it, he took care of it. But I think he should have done more, like for like taking care of his mental
Mental health. Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think that if there's anything preventable, that would be what we but people are stubborn, man. It's very
Yeah.
difficult.
And I think as he grew older, you know, it was kind of within that space, and I know that we had our own run-ins with the illness last year where we were not seeing eye to eye at some point, and
Mm.
eventually then we had to kind of sit down and talk about, you know, how are we going to make things work? How do you think that affected us as a family?
I mean,
Both ways, isn't it? Us expecting it and not expecting it, because obviously when Dada came to Johannesburg to be under our care, we kind of had an idea of what it would mean, but once we were in it, it was something different.
it's a difficult thing uh, to with the timelines of everything happening. Um, and also, I think we both never expected it that it to decline as fast. Uh, I think what really made it, we didn't realize how serious that second stroke was.
Yeah.
Maybe we were lucky to have him that long as well because
Mm.
even the doctors couldn't tell us. Remember when we went to that psychiatrist, like it could be a month, it could be
Mm.
3 months, it could be 6 months. It's very difficult thing.
And we
And
had him for a whole nine.
yeah, especially as it declines more and more, you know.
Mm.
I think it became difficult,
Mm.
and then I'm sure it was difficult on our partners as well, and
Because our lives changed.
yeah,
You know, it changed in as much as we tried to make it work. It was it was a rapid 360.
yeah,
You know.
and also my wife's on my wife's side, she also had just lost her dad, so it was triggering to her on her side as well. So yeah, it's a very difficult thing. I mean, I think it also changed our relationship with our dad's side of the family. I think as well
That's
because
a story for another day.
yeah, man. It affects the
It
family
did.
in a wider way.
Yeah, yeah.
In a wider way for people that have to support you. To yeah, the people that you wish you had support from.
Yes. That's actually a thing. Yeah, that is a thing. I think for me, I went in it already, had put certain changes, or certain, systems, because in my mind I was like, okay, this is happening. So phone calls were already like, okay, now this is what's going to change. This is what's going to happen. I mean, I took a decision of I'm not going to be indulging in going out and consuming alcohol or anything like that, because I knew that this task required me to
To be
be
present.
completely present, and I didn't need any distractions whatsoever, and I recall last year, I think I've never attended church that much in my life, because I needed something that was also going to give me some sort of strength and stability. Because if it was not church, it was going to be the bottle, you know, and because it's such a heavy thing to deal with, you just don't know how to navigate those waters, So church for me became that grounding space, literally became my haven where I could be like, "Thixo, ngicela ungincede," because now I just don't know what else to do. Even in moments of thinking, are probably a bit more than what I can chew here, you know? And God kept on saying, I would not give you something that you cannot handle. I will place divine helpers for you along the way.
Hundred
You know?
percent.
So it affected me socially, financially. We got affected financially. As you already mentioned, in terms of, our households as a whole. But in a in a in a in another way of looking at it, it kind of brought us closer together as well. You know, um, in a circumstance where we were like, okay, if we are going to work together, we're gonna have to kind of put certain things aside, and we're gonna have to be a unit here.
100%.
I think we spent a lot of time together, last year, with each other, and I really appreciated that. So it kind of brought us. It felt like that's what was also needed, him coming so that we can also kind of reestablish our own relationship as brother and sister, and what it means for us as and our families, moving together, you know.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, man. So, but there's also a lot of things that I wish that he had been in the state of mind to see, like see my nephew growing up, my daughter, all of that stuff. But
Yes.
yeah, I mean, hey,
Yeah. If you could tell anyone that's going through the same thing that we went through last year, what would it be?
I think Tina, as we grow up, right? Um, we think about taking care of a parent too late.
Yes.
I think, can we, as you are growing up now, you are in your late 20s or 30s, early 30s, or your parents are getting older, start saving up. Start getting like life insurance for your parents. Thinking about just in case anything like this happens, what can
So
I
have put
do
measures in
in
place.
place?
Yeah.
Yes.
Before you find yourself now having to,
Mm.
go through
And
it
then also
in a
just
difficult way.
and just like have conversations with your parents about stuff like this. Like, what do you think about care facilities? What do you think even all of that stuff? Even with your
And have a living
family,
will.
and have
Have
a
a
living
living
will.
will.
Yeah, because there's a lot. Things like a living will are really important. You know, and then people dealing with it. I think um, collect your soldiers, people that you're gonna fight this thing with. You know,
Definitely.
yeah, build that community, because it's not gonna happen alone. You're not gonna be able to do it alone.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to do it alone. You need that. You need that help. You need that support. And yeah, I mean, I think we would have loved more support.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
a lot of things that we learned during the thing, like finding out about hospice, finding out about all of that stuff after we had gone through so much money,
Yeah.
you know, and like there's a support structures out there that you don't even know. So
Yes.
do your research. Um,
And this is why I have this type of
yeah,
platform,
yeah,
so that we continue having these
mm,
conversations, and as it is World Alzheimer's and Dementia Month, and we're encouraged to ask about dementia, we're encouraged to ask about
and it's
Alzheimer's.
also, I think it's also male mental health
Is
month as
it?
well. I think so. Yeah.
So it's we had to do our own research to find ourselves in these type of places where now we can be like, okay, cool, I know about it. But then if there are these type of platforms where are
Conversations.
readily
Yeah.
available to people where they can just tap into, because this podcast is not just going to stop here. We're stepping into November. November is National Alzheimer's Awareness Month.
Oh, nice.
So it's continuing the conversation all the time where we can share now, okay, cool. So which facilities, I can go
Exactly.
to, which neurologists can I give a
Mm,
call, which social workers,
mm.
I can go, clinics I can go to because my parents don't have medical aid. Those are,
Very important
those
things.
are like real things, that are happening to people. And also the reason why I'm saying turning whispers about dementia into conversations, there is this little stigma or some sort of embarrassment, or I don't want to talk about the fact that my parents they're losing their memory, or things are happening, or their cognitive decline has reached a certain stage now. They cannot take themselves to the bathroom, like things they cannot feed themselves. There's those type of things. So it happens in closed doors where people eventually just don't even say anything, you know. So yeah, this is why I decided to do this, and
No, it's
it's
very
such a pleasure
important.
to have you here as the first guest.
Come on
You
now.
know,
Anytime. I mean,
as the first guest, as being
anytime.
my older brother, my big brother. Is there
Wha-
anything you'd like to say?
no, yeah. Hang in there. It's a tough journey. If your parents are going through anything like this, it's a tough journey. And yeah, like find your support. I like what you said earlier, and find your way of coping and support, and just giving yourself a little bit more strength. So
And more grace. Give
yeah,
yourself more grace.
and
Take
grace.
time to take time to take time for yourself.
100%.
You
Yeah.
really, really need that.
100%. That's the only
Well, look
way.
at us. We didn't cry. There was no tears.
Hey, man, I'm surprised myself.
We're
'cause-
healing.
Hey, I'm very surprised. Yeah, I'm a cry.
If this episode resonated with you, or you know someone that it might help, please do like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much. Thank you.